top government sources, we have learnt that the Indian government's priority remains the safety and security of Indian nationals in Iran. The government sources point out that the majority of Indian community in Iran consists of medical students, particularly from Jammu and Kashmir, where we are learning that there are over 2,000 Indian medical students who are currently studying at the Tehran University of Medical Sciences, also the Shahid Beheshti University and the Islamic Azad University. So the priority of the Indian government is for their safe return to the country. My colleague Akanksha Swaroop with that information. Yes, Akanksha.
Right. Griha, these are inputs shared by Security Affairs Editor Manoj Gupta, where we are being told that currently there's a lot of panic and chaos inside Iran, particularly for all of those Indian students. Over 2,000 of them, as you rightly highlighted, are part of 3 universities, one of them being a very important and pivotal one, that's the Tehran Medical University over there, the Shahid Beheshti University as well. But remember, after those repeated threats by the US President Donald Trump, there's a lot of panic. Many students have in fact been forced to remain indoors. They are saying that the protests have been so volatile in nature and so violent that they've been that they risk even stepping out, and that even the transportation all the way from the university hostels to the airports is extremely risky. That you're also looking at exporters and importers who are dealing, say, in agriculture, pharmaceutical. Many of them, they have also been stranded because they are obligated by the contracts that they have, and at the same time there are pending dues for them. So there's no ray of hope for all of these people, whether it is the importers, exporters and the student lobby as well. Siddhant has already broken that news story about how we can expect the first batch of Indian students to arrive tomorrow morning. But more importantly, what is in fact causing this panic? The US role has been extremely critical. The US President's own threats of having, maybe perhaps come up with a military strike, but there was in fact a befitting response delivered by Tehran. They said that if US intervenes, they will not spare any of Iran's neighbors who are housing US troops. And of course, that is a direct threat to Qatar. You're looking at a direct threat again to Israel. That seemed to have also changed the US stance, because remember, the US President said that there's been a sort of a pause now on the protests, and that the protesters are safe. But remember, yesterday itself, the first execution was in fact announced. And so if there is really an end to this, but as far as the repeated airspace closures are also concerned, just quick 15 seconds, Griha, that also is leading to overbooking of flights. These students come from humble backgrounds. They cannot afford these emergency flights at the same time.
Absolutely, and that's why the Indian government has now in fact pressed for the early arrival of all the Indian students in Iran. Thank you so much for that, Akanksha.